Hello, Rabanzo here. I'm dedicating this episode to one of my all-time music heroes, Charlie Watts. He was outwardly classy and cool, just a great drummer. Thank you for all the great tunes and great memories. Miss you, Charlie. This is the Unstarving Musician podcast. I'm your host, Rabanzo. The podcast features conversations with me, indie music artists, and industry professionals, and it's all intended to help other indie music artists be better at marketing, business, the creative process, and all the other things that empower us to do more of what we love. Make music. Welcome to another episode. I am jazzed to be in your earbuds or your headphones or your speakers again today. As always, I appreciate you. I'm glad you're here to listen. So, today's episode is based on a blog post by my friends at Bandzoogle on the EPK, the electronic press kit that all musicians who want to get work of any kind should have. I ran across their article because I was redesigning a website for a good friend of mine, Joe Patterson, who he's a Wix user, a user of Wix.com, and so I'd move him over to Bandzoogle if I could, but he's there, so I thought, let's fix what you got going on. He had some stuff going on, but one thing he didn't have was an EPK, so when I wanted to give him resources to know what he needed to provide for me, I did a quick search and found a great article from, maybe a few years ago from Bandzoogle. And that article is called The 8 Things That Should Be in Every Band's Electronic Press Kit. You don't have to be a band, of course, to need an EPK. And I'm going to put a link to this great article in the show notes for this episode. But I'm going to talk, my talking points are basically from that article. So thanks, Bandzoogle, for scripting my episode today. Before I get into that, just really quick, if you like what you hear here on the podcast, the number one thing you could do is to join the Unstarving Musician community. It's especially great for musicians, not just musicians, but especially for musicians. So I share a lot of insights that I garner from the musicians and industry folks that I speak to for the podcast, share those things with you, and a bit of personal experience as well. You also find out about the latest podcast episodes and other things that are going on that only people in the community would know. And you get that information by email. I send an occasional email once a week at the most to keep you apprised of what's happening. And you can sign up at unstarvingmusician.com. The other thing I wanted to mention really quick is if you have feedback about the podcast or an episode, or you have a suggestion, I have provided a lot of ways for you to contact me. First of all, if you go to unstarvingmusician.com, just scroll to the bottom of the page, you'll see everything you need to know to contact me, or even leave a voice message right there on the website from your mobile device or browser. You can reach out to me via a contact form, or you can text me. There's just all kinds of ways. So if you have something to say about the podcast, I would love to hear from you. So go to unstarvingmusician.com, fill out the contact form, or leave a voice message right there, or leave me a voice message on my phone, or text me, whatever works for you. I'd love to hear from you. All right, let's get into the meat of today's episode, which is about the EPK and why you should have one and what should be in it. We all hope that fans will visit our website, sign up for our email list, buy our music and our merch, but there's another important category of prospective site visitors, such as music supervisors, talent buyers, or bloggers, people who might want to review you. Those talent buyers being anyone from venues to festivals. So you want to have a place for them to go and quickly get the stuff that they need to do their job and to get your music out there, frankly. And this is where the EPK comes in. And I thought it was really important to talk about this for some of us. If you're like me, I used to think, well, I don't even, everything's on my website. Why did they need a special page? Well, the reason is people are busy. And if you can consolidate everything into one page for these special people that are looking to either write about you or book you, or maybe use some of your music as content on their websites, like embed a video, this is the place to put everything for them so that they can find it quickly and do their thing once again, and get your music out there. An EPK is also thought of as a promotional package or media kit. You've probably heard those phrases before. Back in the day, I think we always had these sort of downloadable PDF versions, which you can still do, by the way. And some people still love a piece of paper for various reasons. They might need to show it to a lot of folks, and that's just maybe at a meeting or something, and that's just the easiest way for them to do it. It's a really great way to promote yourself to radio, industry pros, venue bookers. So again, it's everything they need on one page. So as the Bandzoogle blog post points out, you want your EPK to showcase your music career and tell your story. So everything you include on this page should focus on this, your career and your story. And they break it all down into 8 things that you should have in your EPK. So let's start with your bio. This is, of course, an introduction / elevator pitch and a few sentences. But more than this, consider giving various types of various formats or lengths of the bio, because you have different people that are looking at you. You've got bookers, festivals, PR people. So you'll want to have different versions that vary in word count. So to quote Bandzoogle, you want the elevator pitch, which is 1 to 2 sentences, include a short bio, which is a paragraph version, a medium bio, which is a couple of paragraphs, and a long bio, which would be like 4 paragraphs. So again, this is for the different people that are trying to look at you. If I'm like booking at a venue, I'm probably going to be cool with the elevator pitch, maybe the short bio. But if I'm a writer, definitely the short bio, the medium bio, or the long bio probably are more likely to be fit for me. If I'm a buyer, a music buyer, or a writer, those longer versions all the way to the longest and in between are going to be more value for me. You're going to make my life easier by giving me content that I can start with, or maybe just scrape right off your site to include in any promotional material or write-ups that I'm doing. Get it? Okay, so there are a lot of different ways to do this. So these versions can all be on a page, or they can be downloadable. And websites today allow for a variety of ways for you to display content like this. I won't get into that, but there's just a lot of cool different ways you can do it. The main ones are, again, low-hanging fruit, right on the page, and or downloadable. The next thing you need is a promotional pic or some promotional photos. And you want to display them in a way that they're easy to be downloaded, and also consider the various sizes that are needed. For print and online promotional press, there are going to be different types, sizes, orientation. So offer a variety of photos. And again, make them easy to download. I've been to, as a podcaster, one of the really important things I look for is photos for the episode posts that I do on my website, and sometimes I go to sites and I can't even download them, so that's not good. You want to have a place where people like me, or again all these other people I've mentioned, they're really important folks, where they can download a shot of you and use it for whatever they need to, so that we can sell you. Band shots are great too. Obviously, if you're in a band, this all applies. So you can do everything from the posed shots to like a live action shot or two that conveys the style of your music. And if you're promoting like a new album to music reviewers, include photos that are on brand with the music, plus the album's artwork. That is all perfect for this page, and actually really good and very helpful. Also include different orientations, so vertical and horizontal, or as I am accustomed to saying, landscape or portrait, plus black and white options. Include square images or easily cropped portrait images, because these are the best for most social media. Now, I want to say also include a landscape or a wide image, because there's so many different places. Like as a podcaster, I tend to do artwork these days that are for everything from Instagram stories all the way up to like a YouTube thumbnail. And there's a very different size requirements. So the landscape image can come in handy for certain things too. Probably that last one is not the most important, but if you want to go the extra yard, do that, include those as well. It'll help the promoters, venues, bloggers, writers cover all the basics for the social posts that they're going to do. Sip of coffee here. I'm an admitted caffeine addict. Oh man, good stuff. I'm only having 2 cups, but I should probably keep it to 1. But hey, that's part of my problem. It's part of the addiction, right? The progressiveness of the disease. I shouldn't say that. That's from, I think, those secret meetings that people with actual problems, well, I have a problem. I have a lot of actual problems. But anyway, all right, let's move on to the music. This is the place to place your most popular tracks and include a music player as well as streaming links so that it's playable right on the from the page, on the page, or from the page. Music supervisors are going to want to take a quick listen. These are the guys that are going to get you, the guys and gals that are going to get you placed in Netflix series or movies or all these other different places where your music can be featured. So you absolutely want to make it easy for them to give a quick listen. And others may want to see how you're faring on streaming services. So include written descriptions of your songs. Make sure that you have the clickable links for the streaming services. Also, include written descriptions of your songs and your music style. Reviewers and bloggers are going to want to write up something about your style, and they'll really appreciate any ideas or head start you can give them to make their life a little easier. Think of it as writing prompts for the creative ones, not the ones that are just going to scrape it and put it out there. But video, another category among the 8 things that Bandzoogle says you should have on your EPK page, right in the blog post I got all this stuff from. So you want to include a few videos, if you have that many, on your EPK page. Festival organizers and venues sometimes will even embed artist videos on their sites to promote you. There may be artist features in various publications, online and offline, where they might include these videos too. Well, they won't do it offline, but online where they would do such a thing like embed your video. Adding a descriptive bit of content above your videos or about your videos and above them or on the side of them, however you format your website, can drive promoters to take a closer look, closer listen to your videos. So, for instance, describe your music. This can make it easier for them to do their thing and, again, promote your music. All right, press and reviews. You can help media tell your story by sharing any media coverage you already have. Reviews that talk up your live shows and music are also really helpful, and they could get you more shows and more media coverage. Keep your reviews, any reviews that you get and post there, keep them short and to the point so that your EPK readers can easily and quickly scan the page. As Bandzoogle says, you don't want to overwhelm the site visitors on this page. It's kind of a quick stop place for them to get what they need. I know that having all these different things on there might sound overwhelming, but people are going to be able to sort of shop for what they're looking for. And some of them are going to look at all of it. That's true. But put all this stuff there, but keep things to the point and concise when it comes to the written content. Highlights and achievements. Okay, this is a place, obviously, for the awards that you've gotten, the honorable mentions, the second place things, radio play, streaming success, noteworthy tours or festivals you've been part of. As Bandzoogle says, this is a place to build buzz around you and your music. Okay, this one might seem obvious, but social media links. I mean, these should really be included on every page of your website. I would argue at the top and footer of your website, but you want to make them especially prominent here and extra easy to find on the CPK page, especially the ones where you're active and you're growing an audience. Contact information seems obvious to you, but this is a place for that contact form and any phone numbers you want to include. If you have a team, include contact info for each of these folks on the page too, so that the industry folks will know where to go first. In summary, think of the EPK as a snapshot of you or your band and your latest music or project summed up all into one place. Building out a band EPK with these elements will help you start booking more gigs and make it easier for media and industry to promote you. So make sure to update your press kit regularly as your career moves forward, and it will pay off. That's right from Bandzoogle. You can use one of Bandzoogle's awesome EPK templates, by the way, to make all this happen. And, lucky listener, you can use promo code ROBONZO, ROBONZO, to get 15% off your first year. So check them out and get your EPK page together. And I can tell you, you know what? This was a great exercise for me. Mine needs some work. I knew that. I only recently threw mine up because, again, I was thinking, well, everything's on my website. Why do I need a special page? Well, it's a quick stop, a one-stop place for these people that we really want to see us to find what they need. So, yeah, I'm getting mine together still. And so you can check it out at robonzo.com. It's there. I'm open to any tips you have too, by the way. But no, it's not. Mine's not complete. I'm getting there little by little, making some time here and there. Well, thank you for listening. Get your EPK together. And listen, if you don't have a website, you really need to get one. I don't care if you're playing a cover band or you're writing your own music. You want people to hear you. You want people to come see you. You want people to hear your music. So get yourself a website. And if you can't do that right now, there are some free solutions. And if you can't do that because it's just too much to take on, both time-wise and money-wise, just think creatively. Contact me. I can give you some ideas. You can put this stuff together in PDFs and make it available on whatever your rented land is, like one of the social media sites. But again, the website is so important for this and everything else you do, because also it's a great place to capture emails, and that is something that you can keep forever, and people still read those, believe it or not. And now you know how to get your EPK page together, so get busy and do it. You'll be glad. You'll thank me later. You'll thank Bandzoogle later. All right, you guys have a wonderful week ahead or weekend, whatever you got going on, and thanks again for tuning in. I recently asked over 50 podcasters the following question: what's the number one reason that the startup of your podcast was delayed? Among the most common themes in their responses were fear, procrastination, and tech. What if I told you it doesn't have to be so hard? What if I gave you the confidence and tools you needed to start your podcast today? If you want to share expertise, dig deep into a special interest, help others, get more people to visit your blog, expand your personal brand, grow your network, then podcasting might be for you, and this course might be for you. Podcast Startup covers tech, which includes gear and software, hosting, editing, format options, marketing, and more. To learn more about this course created by yours truly and the Unstarving Musician, just go to unstarvingmusician.com/podcast startup. This episode is also powered by ConvertKit. Remember the old days of collecting email addresses at the merch table with a notebook and pen? Now that notebook has gone digital, so you can promote your music everywhere and keep fans both old and new in the know. And you can do it with ConvertKit. Use landing pages designed for musicians to create an easy way to promote your next album, embed your music videos, and link out to social platforms and places to download music. Don't rent your audience, own it with an email list. Visit unstarvingmusician.com/convert to create your free account today. You'll be supporting the podcast in the process. Did you know you can help other independent artists find this podcast by subscribing on Apple Podcast or wherever you are listening to your podcast these days? It really does help, so I hope you will consider it. The Unstarving Musician podcast is made possible through the support and generosity of listeners like you. One of the easiest ways to support the podcast, if you're a musician, is to join the Unstarving Musician community, which you can do at, you guessed it, unstarvingmusician.com. In joining the community, you get tips and insights you can use in your music journey that comes not only from me and my years of experience, but also from the hundreds of other musicians that I speak to as part of the Unstarving Musician project and podcast. Plus, you'll get a free copy of my Unstarving Musician's Guide to Getting Paid Gigs ebook, the official version, and that's all for free just for being part of the community. You can learn about other ways of offering support by visiting the Unstarving Musician crowd sponsor page at unstarvingmusician.com/crowd sponsor. And if you have feedback, please go to unstarvingmusician.com to get all my contact info. You can text me, call me, email me, leave a voice message right there on that page. Just go down to the bottom of the page and you'll find everything you need to know. I really would love to hear any of your comments, suggestions, questions, whatever you've got. And you can find links to just about everything talked about in this episode at unstarvingmusician.com/podcast. All right, I'm peacing out. Thank you for listening and sharing with your musician friends and fellow indie music fans. Peace, gratitude, and a whole lot of love.